We've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Well, remember when the last administration decided to invest in our nation's children? Big mistake.
The Balanced Breakfast program just created a generation of ultra-strong super criminals.
And Midnight Basketball taught them to function without sleep.
What about my pledge to build the world's largest bookmobile? Isn't there any money left for that?
No, and we borrowed from every country in the world.
Quick, Lisa, call off your...
Bart! Ow! Watch the ponytail.
And thanks always for watching. I appreciate you. So let's do a general overhaul of what's going on this week, and I'll give you my thought on it slightly. For those of you who are faithful watchers, the few that be, I'm just giving you heads up on just the general things that are going on inside the game, inside the matrix called life. All right, number one, Trump's federal criminal election interference case resumed after a nearly year-long delay. The case had been on hold since late last year when Trump appealed U.S. District Court Tanya Chutkan's decision that he's not entitled to presidential immunity from criminal prosecution, despite two lower courts rejecting Trump's claim of total immunity. The Supreme Court took up the appeal and ruled in July that Trump is entitled to absolute immunity from criminal persecution from official acts. Last week, Special Counsel Jack Smith charged Trump in superseding indictment in the case involving an alleged conspiracy to obstruct the results of 2020 election. Interesting. The revised indictment kept the same four charges against Trump, but recalibrated the case to adjust to the Supreme Court's ruling that presidents enjoy sweeping immunity from prosecution from their official conduct. Today, lawyers on both sides spar over their proposed path for how the election interference case against Trump should proceed. Early in the morning, people. Early in the morning. Chutkan appeared inclined to give prosecutors a chance to lay out the evidence against Trump within the next few weeks. Trump's attorney, John Lauro, however, pushed back, saying this is sensitive time. With the presidential election approaching, Chutkan responded, the electoral process and the timing of the election is not relevant here. The court is not concerned with the electoral schedule. So the writer of this statement here was, in the beginning, he talked about how Trump's federal election interference case resumed nearly a year after a year-long delay. And at the end, he says that the judge says the electoral process and the timing of the election is not relevant here. So what he's trying to say is, and number one, he's saying that, hey, they're setting it up where the actor Trump, whether he wins the electoral college or whether he wins the popular vote and he becomes officially on paper the president for 2025, they've made it where the court proceedings will probably make him not qualified to be president because of what they're going to conjure up, whether it's the Senate or the Congress. They may come together and say, yeah, we agree that he can't because of this court stuff that's going to pop out. Now, they have many options of what they can do. The options are they can say, okay, well, we're not going to ultimately sweep him with guilt on his cases, but he doesn't have immunity, meaning they're not going to do much to him, but they're going to play this you don't have immunity even though he does. The point is they need some type of delay and distraction in order for the people to be baffled and confused about how can he become president. At that time, most likely Kamala will be president, and Biden will have been in decline to the point where he's out the way, because that seems like the natural thing to do so that she can say the country's broke, as the Simpsons predictive programming has encouraged everybody to see. So when it happens, it won't be abnormal. So this is just a setup for the confusion that's going to come later on. They're setting it up where they're allowing they allow so much time to go between first part of the game to the second part of the game. So this play has been established or scheduled to go this way. Okay, I'm sure Trump understands what's going on. The actor judge knows what's going on. Everybody knows what's going on, other than the American people. Quite don't get why are they dragging things out, or why are they. Some people may feel like let's be more transparent so that we can understand what are the rules that presidents play by. They don't want you to understand that the good old boy system, they don't have to follow rules, just like the rich don't have to pay certain taxes, but we do. It's just how it is. It's a show and tell game. So let me continue to the next one. So the next one is, and just understand on number one, that number one is giving them access to shutting the door in front of Trump's face as being president, even though officially, most likely, technically, he is president, but that's going to cause that civil war they want. Now, Americans have to be able to say, no, we're not going to do a civil war. What we're going to do is we're going to do technical things. Now, they could start a war. Because I just read something about how the Kremlin, Putin is saying that U.S., Europe, and Ukraine are openly coming against them into their territory. And he didn't say just one country. He said 3. So he's acknowledging publicly that things going to amp up. And so by things amping up, if you want to read the screen, you can while I'm talking. As things are amping up, this is going to give the doorway to where if Kamala becomes president for the moment, so she can say her part in the play, then they can start a war, and then that's martial law, and that's maritime proceedings, where we're living in a time where it's like that 10th step, that they have a 10-step process. It's that last step so that they can do fascism on a whole nother level. Of course, they want to get to communism. Of course, they want you to be like CCP. They want Americans to be like China and Saudi Arabia. However, they have to slowly do it. They have to methodically do this game, because there are people in the background who are filing lawsuits, and they're doing a lot of things constitutionally to offset some of this stuff that the government's just blatantly doing because they can, because they're part of the Jesuit good old boy system that's part of the Trilateral Commission, the government, the military, the banking system, and religion. The government and military is the same. Then you have religion, the Vatican, and then you have the Federal Reserve, the central banking system ran by the oligarch, who are the Anunnaki seed children. All right, so number 2, Kamala Harris called for 28% capital gains tax rate for Americans who earn at least $1 million a year. So let's move on from that. Number 3, Trump pledged to cut the corporate tax to 15% from 21% for companies that make their products in the USA. I'm sure she's talking about she won't do anything only for black people. So she's really talking about melanated people who come from other lands. So I just don't want to even read it. Number 5, Trump endorsed Elon Musk for the Government Efficiency Commission to cut federal spending. Now, he might be intelligent enough to do that, but his numbers say 44 billion, death at the door. So whatever Elon Musk's plans are, they're definitely not for the good. Okay, definitely not for the good. I mean, he is a Satanist. So I mean, and Trump talks of God in generalities, and I don't hold it against him, but generality about God. You know, 1 minute God saved your life, the next minute you're not sure if God saved your life. I'm sorry, people, I heard that. And then you got Elon Musk, red and black outfit on for Halloween, literally with Baphomet, Satan on it, whatever. And then Elion is actually the name of a god, so you know, take it as you will as you're hearing that. I can't say Elion and Trump don't care for America. I just think that they care more for their Anunnaki gods than they do for anybody else. And the alien gods want trouble to come out of space using Musk's technology. I can say more, but I won't. Number 6 and last, Hunter Biden pleaded guilty to the 9 charges in the federal tax case against him. Conveniently, now he's pleading guilty because now his daddy's pretty much a puppet that strings can't even be pulled because he's so not there. As long as his dad could have his living, moving being. Well, I mean, of course, Jill and Hunter and the other family members were doing stuff, sniffing and everything else in the White House. Which, is it worse than what Clinton did with Monica Lewinsky? I don't know. I don't know. Drugs and oral. I don't know. Both of them disrespectful. The plea came after prosecutors object to his offer earlier in the day to enter what's known as an Alford plea, which a defendant maintains her innocent but conceals that the prosecution evidence would likely result in a guilty verdict. He faces up to 15 years in prison and fines up to $1 million after pleading guilty to 3 felony and 6 misdemeanors on charges he failed to pay $1.4 million in taxes from 2016, which is a 9/11, to 2019, which is a 9/11. His sentencing is now in the hands of the judge. Joe Biden, meanwhile, has repeatedly said he will not pardon Hunter or use his commutation powers to reduce a prison sentence. Well, he doesn't have to, because Biden can simply just move out the way. He can let the storyline be he's incompetent to a high degree and let Kamala remove or decrease Hunter's sentence. So that may be the reason why, a purposeful reason why Harris will come in, Biden will move out the way so that she can do it. So then technically he won't been and lied.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Well, remember when the last administration decided to invest in our nation's children? Big mistake.
The Balanced Breakfast program just created a generation of ultra-strong super criminals.
And midnight basketball taught them to function without sleep.
So nobody can, people write his ass and say, you lied. That man said he wasn't going to do it. Now he can just do it another way and say, hee ha ha. They love brotherhood and sisterhood way more than they ever love any continent on this planet. Like, subscribe to the bell, and thanks for watching.